Hello YouTube friends. Today is Saturday, September 12th, 2009. This is Mess About 1, and I'm standing on the shores of North Salta Creek near Scottsboro, Alabama, in Jackson County, Alabama, in the northeast corner of the state. And it's good to be on YouTube with you again. I had an email last night, or a message last night, from one of my viewers. I have a viewer by the name of Robe111, Robe 111. His name is Rob. He's a young man that's been watching my channel for several years now. He's still a very young man, and he was really young when he first started watching, but he's one of my loyal viewers, and I hear from him every once in a while. He always makes complimentary comments on my videos, and he and I've kind of gotten to be friends on YouTube over those 3 years. Over 3 years now I've been on YouTube. Anyway, I received a message from him yesterday. You know, yesterday was September, the anniversary of 9/11, September 11th of the year 2001, when our country was attacked. And of course, yesterday most Americans were thinking about what happened those several years ago. In Rob's message, he asked me a question and wanted to know if I might want to make a video about how we here in this area of the country, in the South, the Deep South, what we felt yesterday, what we thought, what we, I guess, remembered about 9/11, about September 11th, 2001. So I wrote him back and told him I'd try to do that. And of course I did think about yesterday morning when I got up, I did think about it being an anniversary of that horrible day in our country's history. I remembered where I was at work. I remembered the feelings I had when we realized that our country was under attack. And a lot of those feelings were brought back yesterday by just knowing that this was an anniversary of that date. And on that date, over 3,500, I believe it was, Americans lost their lives due to that senseless attack on our country. So at the time, and I guess a lot of Americans and even I know Alabamians that live in this area had a lot of anger. I don't think we had so much fear as we did anger. We, of course, had a lot of sorrow for the people, the number of people that had been lost on that one day. And I guess I and a lot of us had unbelief. It was just hard to believe that anybody outside of, I guess, a declared war would take that kind of action against a peaceful people, innocent people really, and that they would go in and with little thought and no love or caring and kill as many people as they could, not caring who those people were, if they were old people, or if they were women, they were children, not caring at all who they killed, but just having a desire to kill and maim and injure as many people as possible for whatever reason. Most of us found that to be hard to believe, that there are people in our world today that would go to those means to reach their political or religious desires. It's still, even I think about it today, it's unbelievable that happened, and it happened for that reason. Now, I'm not a fan of wars. I don't particularly. I've said before, I like peace and love and understanding. I do understand that there has to be wars at times, but you know, there's always sort of been an agreement that there's international laws on ways to have wars. If you disagree with another country disagrees with you, it can come down to a declared war, and the victor of that war, I guess, wins the argument. Now, I'm not a big fan of that. But for just a group of people to decide that they are going to start killing other people in other countries because they don't like that country's government or that country's type of religion or that country's beliefs, it's just not, it never has been acceptable, and it's not acceptable now. And Rob, that holds true for the people here in the South. You know, we had our own war with our own country back during the mid-1800s, where we disagreed with the rest of the country, and hundreds of thousands of Americans were killed at that time, and both sides, I suppose, fighting for what they believed was right. But it was a declared war, and there was a lot of innocent deaths, but it wasn't the type thing that we saw on September 11, on 9/11. So what did we in the South think about yesterday and remembering that horrible day, 9/11? I think we probably felt about like most other Americans. I don't think there was a big difference around town in this area. The flags were at half-staff. It was on people's mind that that thing happened those years ago. One thing I guess people around here thought and hope and plan to help not happen is that happening again. We want to keep our intelligence strong enough. We want to keep our military strong enough. We want to keep our resolve strong enough that we can prevent such an attack on our country in the future. And whatever that takes to do that, I think most of the people in this area that I know are willing to do what it takes, to support what it takes to keep our country safe. We have been a free country for over 200 years, well over 200 years now, and we plan to keep it that way, and whatever it takes. We Americans and everybody in the South love our freedom, love our ability to do pretty much what we choose to do. We love our safety. We love our country. So I think people, the U.S.-wide, are willing to do whatever it takes to protect this country and to keep it safe, and not be like many other places in the world where you have to worry when you lay down to sleep at night, or worry when you get on the bus, or worry when you go in a crowded area that you'll be blown to bits. We don't want that in this country, and we're willing to do what it takes to keep that from happening. You know, we've lost many fine American young men and women since 9/11 in fighting terrorism in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and that is still going on daily. But those young men and women give willingly to help protect our country. They are fine young Americans, and they are doing a very good job to help protect us. So I guess I hope that answers your question, Rob. We don't think that much different down here. I know sometimes we have maybe a stereotype that everybody in the South thinks a bit different or is a bit different from the rest of the country. But when it comes to matters like this, we're all Americans, and we know that. And most of us are willing to give it all and whatever it takes to protect our families and our state and our country. And I think that's the answer you might have been looking for. Sure, we wish it could be peaceful times and everybody be happy and everybody throughout the world have plenty and have all their wants and needs met. It's not very realistic, but most of us are proud of our country and know that our country does a lot worldwide to help people in need. And we all know that our country would never do what was done to us on 9/11, on September 11th. We would never perform an act of terrorism against innocent people in huge volumes without any care for who was hurt or who was killed. That's my thoughts, Rob. You asked for that opinion, so that's what you have. So I'll see you later. Thanks a lot.